Hello guys, welcome to my video, and today we are going to create a random quote generator using React. And this is a very simple application. As you can see, we will have some just a heading, some random quotes here, and the author, alright, and a button to generate the new quotes. Alright, so when I click on the button, okay, a new quote is generated. All right, and the author also is generated. Okay, a new quote with the author's name. Right, this one is a very simple application, React application, and we are going to use the fetch method to fetch the API, all right, to get data from the API. Thank you, stay tuned and let's continue. Very simple. So today we are not going to concentrate on the styling part of it, all right, because I want this video to be as short as possible. All right, so it's very simple. As you can see, this just hard written, even this one is hard written just for the styling. This button is currently, it's not, there is no function for it. We shall add that functionality together. All right, so let me show you. This just the CSS, some reset. We have some resets here, and just simple CSS. Then on our quote.js file, we have this, which is hard coded. It's very simple. There's a heading here, there's some data here, all right, and some name here and a quote. All right, so we are going to add the functionality so that we can add this this quote randomly when the button is clicked, and also we can change the name of the author. All right, then on our app.js, I've just imported that component. All right, the quote component, quote.js. all right, and I've also imported the quote.css for the styling of that component. All right, that's everything. So let's go to our quote.js and know how we can generate the this random quotes. So first of all, you will need an API, all right, so that you can get the data from that API. All right, so what we can do, we need some use case, so that we'll be updating our use case. All right, so let's say constant, we can say quote, okay, and set quote. Okay, like so, and you need to import it here. As you can see, I've imported it. All right, then we need to initialize it with it will contain an array of quotes with the name of the author, right? So that's why I've initialized it as an array. All right, then we need the we need an API whereby we'll be getting the data from. Right, so I have two API. I went online and researched two API. these ones. So we are going to use these two APIs. All right, let me copy them. Sorry. Okay, we are going to use these two APIs here. All right, and we can close this one. All right, like so. All right, so how do we get, this is an API, so how do we fetch data from an API? We can use the fetch method. All right, so if you are not familiar with the fetch method or the promises, you can Google and you will understand, but you can just code along with me, right? So what I'll need a function to call this. So let's say here on the button, when the button is clicked, let's add an event listener. And we want to pass in like so. So let's create that function, this one. All right. We don't need to pass anything there. Right, let's just say alert so that we can see if our button is working properly. Right, it's always good to check before you continue. You can just write like so. So let's see. When I click it, you see, so everything is working correctly. The button is working perfectly as I want it. So what I can do, here I will use the fetch method. So let's write fetch. We are going to fetch the data, and we are going to use one of these URL, like this one. So I can just copy it. Let's put it here. Okay, let's copy even both of them. We shall just uncomment one of them. Let's uncomment the first one. Right, so now I can add here API like so. The fetch will return a promise so that we can now use .then. All right, and here I can we receive a response. All right, we can use the fat arrow and get the response .json. all right, and this one, the JSON also returns a promise, so we can also use then again, and here we can have our results. All right, and we can use the fat arrow and like so. So I can say console dot log and results. Right, and even I want us to see that I can also set my this one. Now it's an empty array, but I can say set quote to be the results. Alright, which is the quotes, like so. So now this one we have fetched the data using this API. Alright, using the fetch methods. Alright, we are not going to dig deep into details like catching the error and so. This is a small project and I want it to be as fast as possible. Right, so let's go to our console.log and see if we are getting the data. Okay, like so. So let's click our button and we are getting the data. All right, you can see if I click again I'll get another data. All right, now what I want you to notice is that you can see when I click it, it's returning just one element in that array, because that API contains more than 1000 quotes. All right, now it's returning just one. Why? This is because of the API that we are using, this one, and you can see there is a random at the end. Okay, random at the end, meaning that this API itself will return a random quote each and every time. It doesn't display the whole array. All right, so what we can do, we can come here and you see there is author and there is content. All right, so we can take our this one quote because we have filled it with these here. So instead of hard coding this here, all right, can delete it and just put our curly braces, and I will say quote dot content. All right, hope you understand where I'm getting the content from. All right, then I'll have my author, quote dot author. Sorry, we need the curly braces. Okay, quote dot author, like so. All right, so when this one is clicked, it's going to call this function, which is going to set our state. All right, and finally we'll need to use use effect. All right, so we can write use effect and call this function so that when we refresh, we'll have our quote generated. Right, we can do that, and here I'll need to use a fat arrow. Right, and I need to call this function here. All right, so I can just write handle we are calling it as a function. Right, and we need some dependency here, and we just need to initialize it to an empty array. All right, so I think that will do for our project. Let's see. Okay, let's move away from this, and you can see I've not even clicked the button, but the code is there because I've used the use effect, all right, to call that function. All right, even if I refresh again, you will see this code will be generated again randomly. You can see because it's calling the use effect, it's calling that function. All right, so if I click this one, click, okay, you can see it's generating new quotes with this author and the quote. You can see. All right, now let's use the let's come back. Let's go to our console.log. okay, console, and as you can see, this one, this is where we got the content and the author, and this, every time I click on this, it's going to generate one random quote. Okay, let's look the next scenario. Now let's use the this API, right, like so. Now we are console.log the results from this, the second API. All right, let's see what's the results. You can see now the difference. All right, now this one has given the whole quotes. All right, not just a random quote, every quote, and there are 1643 quotes in that array. All right, so what we need to do, and I can do this. Okay, these are all the quotes. All right, from 100 to 199, all of them. All right, like so. So I can take like the 500th one, and as you can see, it contains only two elements. Okay, we have the author and the text. All right, so we can go back to our application and change this one from content to text. All right, and it's not enough because, as you can see, we need to randomly choose one array from all of these. All right, so we need to use a random method. So I can come here, all right, and say let random is equals to we need math dot flow, all right, method, and also we need math dot random to generate a random number, and we are going to multiply this one with the length of the array. All right, and this is the array that we are getting. Okay, so the results is the array that we are getting. So dot length like so. All right, so if I come here and say and see. Like so. I want the array with the random number, maybe the with the first index 0 or 1 or 2. All right, so let's see if the console.log will give us just one array. Let's clear everything and let's click here. You can see now it's just giving us one array. All right, you can see one array. Okay, just one array at a time. All right, so what I can do now, on the set quote, I can include that random number there, and I think our project is done now. All right, so we can just go out of the console and click the button, it changes. All right, click again, it will change. Okay, everything is working perfectly. All right, yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. If you like my tutorial, please don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment below, so that that will motivate me to continue creating this tutorial for you, and we learn together. Thank you very much for watching.